You know, guys and gals, there's a lot of reasons why I love my job. I think I'm very lucky to be here. One reason in particular, though, is actually waking up or going to bed having no clue what I'm going to be covering the next day. And this definitely pertains to today's episode. Yes, it's pretty crazy. Yes, it's very baffling. I am sure plenty of you guys watching have already heard about what I'm going to be talking about. But yes, it is true. It is now potentially a bannable offense once the newly established terms of service of Twitch are actually enacted and brought to us first by Streamer News and then reported by several other sources out there with some additional information. It seems that if you use these following words in a derogatory manner or as an insult, it could be a bannable offense on the Twitch platform moving forward. That being the words incel, virgin, and most notoriously simp are now potentially bannable offenses moving forward on Twitch if you use them in a hurtful manner. Yes, I just said that. 2020 is not over yet, but here we are.
Newer words going around Twitch, which is the word simp. And it's a phrase that the community can still use and make emotes for currently. But when the new policy goes into effect, what are we thinking about that term or that word?
Yeah, great question. So the new policy does include guidelines that say making any derogatory statements about another person's perceived sexual practices, and that does include negatively targeting another person with sexually focused terms. So using terms like simp, incel, or virgin as an insult to negatively refer to another person's sexual activity is not allowed under this new policy. And in addition to the policy change, we're also proactively denying emotes that include the term simp, and we'll remove them when reported, and we'll keep doing that once the policy changes.
Thank you for that clarification.
And afterwards, reported by Slasher, this is actually what it got it trending on Twitter, guys. I believe now 100,000 plus tweets involving the word simp, which was trending, saying Twitch now says you can no longer call others simp, incel, and virgin as they are now against terms of service, along with any emotes relating to the term simp. Twitch, baby, what is you doing? And a follow-up statement from a Twitch spokesperson saying we will take action against the use of terms like simp, incel, or virgin specifically when they are being used to negatively refer to another person's sexual practices. Using these terms on their own wouldn't lead to an enforcement, but we would take action if they were used repeatedly in a harassing manner. We deny emotes related to these terms and take them down when they are reported to us. We have a stricter policy on emotes overall because they can be used across Twitch, so we take more proactive measures to minimize the potential harm. So moving forward with the new Twitch terms of service, it does seem a potential bannable offense for incel and virgin and simp, and any emotes that are already existing with those things might be taken back, and new ones likely will not be accepted because they can be used as forms of harassment across the entire platform. So I have one giant question for all of you guys watching. Do you think this will work? Will this be benefiting anyone in particular? That's the giant question. It depends if you see these words as insults, as some people do, and some people don't. And I think a lot of people out there kind of scared. What is next, right? What words will you be banning next from the platform that these people cannot be saying whatsoever? If you guys did miss it, it was actually just last week we talked about Twitch's also other updates around sexual harassment and the way that some people are talking to streamers in a sexual manner. If it is unwarranted or unwanted, that can also be a bannable offense. That certainly made a lot of sense. They also gave prohibition, or actually did not allow any longer, the Confederate flag. To a lot of eyes out there, those rules just made a lot of sense. This one, for some people, might really be stretching it in terms of how they will apply this rule to streamers and, more importantly, the wider audience, the viewers as well. I have a lot of responses out there. Some at 1G, Nikki Merckx, Flom had a pretty solid one. Sinatra, even just esports pros and players and streamers all alike giving their responses. And then you feel bad. Speaking of esports pros, the man who was simp before simping was actually simping, but he's still simp. That's going to be FaZe Simp. If you guys are not Call of Duty fans, he's actually a COD pro for the Atlanta FaZe. The man has been simp for quite some time. Just over the past year and a half has been facing plenty of flack for that name choice, of which it was never this when he chose it, and now can you guys imagine? All right, I'm just gonna target one individual name out there. Hey, all you Davids out there, just imagine you wake up, your name's David. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, the next day, David is now a term for giving in and only protecting women. This is a stereotype. I'm not sure the exact definition of a simp. And then all of a sudden you have all these Davids that are donating $546 and their entire life savings, and that might fall into the stereotype. And now David is no longer David, all right? Your name has lost its meaning, and now it means something entirely different. That is what phase simp is now in. I feel for the man. And for me, it's just like, I honestly, we cover so many crazy stories, especially pertaining to Twitch, right? We talked about potential Twitch jail time for DMCA just a week and a half ago, and you think we're almost over the hump, huh? We're almost at 2021. All this crazy stuff is gonna stop, and then Twitch goes, yick, we're not done. You virgins, you incels, you simps. We're done saying that kind of naughty language. I don't know where we go from here, guys. Take a sip of wah, take a sip of call. I'll catch you back here in the next one. What's the next one, huh? Gee willikers. Have a good day, virgin nerds. I was joking.